Miyamoto Musashi was a Japanese swordsman, philosopher, strategist, writer, and Ronin, who became renowned through stories of his unique double-bladed swordsmanship and undefeated record in his 61 duels. Musashi, as he was often simply known, is considered a Kensei, a sword saint of Japan. He was the founder of the Nitan-Eikai Ryu style of swordsmanship, and in his final years authored the Book of Five Rings and the Path of Aloneness. Both documents were given to Taro Maganojo, the most important of Musashi's students, 7 days before Musashi's death. The details of Musashi's early life are difficult to verify. Musashi himself simply states in the Book of Five Rings that he was born in Harima Province. An early biography of Musashi supports the assertion that Musashi was born in 1584. His father, Shinmin Munasai, was an accomplished martial artist and master of the sword. Musashi no Kami was a court title, making him the nominal governor of Musashi Province. Fujiwara was the lineage from which Musashi claimed descent. According to the Book of Five Rings, Musashi states that his first successful duel was at the age of 13, against a samurai named Arima Kihei who fought using the Kashima Shinto Ryu style. The main source of the duel is the Hyoho Senshi Denki. Arima Kihei, who was traveling to hone his art, posted a public challenge in Hirafuku Mura. Musashi wrote his name on the challenge. A messenger came to Doran's temple, where Musashi was staying, to inform Musashi that his duel had been accepted by Kihei. Doran, Musashi's uncle, was shocked by this and tried to call off the duel based on his nephew's age. Kihei was adamant that the only way his honor could be cleared was if Musashi apologized to him. So when the time set for the duel arrived, Doran began apologizing for Musashi, who merely charged at Kihei with a 6-foot quarterstaff, shouting a challenge to Kihei. Kihei attacked with a wakizashi, but Musashi threw Kihei on the floor, and while Kihei tried to get up, Musashi struck Arima between the eyes and then beat him to death. Arima was said to have been arrogant, overly eager to battle, and not a terribly talented swordsman. In 1599, Musashi left his village at the age of 15. He spent his time traveling and engaging in duels. In 1611, Musashi began practicing zazen at the Myoshin-ji temple. It would be here that he would be challenged by the famous swordsman Sasaki Kajiro. The duel was scheduled for April 13, 1612, when Musashi was approximately 30 years old. The departure by boat for the duel was arranged for approximately 8 in the morning on the island of Ganryujima. Despite Hosokawa officials banning spectators, the island was filled with crowds eager to watch the duel. Kajiro was known for wielding an oversized nadachi, often called a laundry drying pole due to its length. Using this sword, Kajiro was said to be known for a swift two-stroke sword technique called Tsuba Megishi. Kajiro arrived at the appointed time, but was then left to wait for hours. Musashi had overslept. Kajiro sent out servants to retrieve Musashi, who ate a full breakfast, taking his time. In some variants of the tale, Musashi intentionally arrives late as a sign of disrespect. Upon his arrival, an irritated Kajiro chided Musashi's lateness and dramatically threw his scabbard into the sea, as a sign that he would not stop and would fight to the death. Musashi responded with a taunt of his own, saying that Kajiro clearly wasn't confident in himself if he thought he'd never get a chance to use a fine scabbard again. The two circled each other, and Kajiro leaped toward Musashi with his trademark overhead strike. Musashi, too, jumped and swung his weapon with a shout, and the two sword strokes met. Musashi's headband fell off, sliced by Kajiro's sword, but somehow, only the headband was cut rather than Musashi's skull. Musashi's strike, meanwhile, had struck true, cleaving Kajiro's skull. In 1643 he retired to a cave named Raigando as a hermit to write the Book of Five Rings. He finished it in the second month of 1645. On the 12th of the 5th month, sensing his impending death, Musashi bequeathed his worldly possessions, after giving his manuscript copy of the Book of Five Rings to the younger brother of Taro Maganojo, his closest disciple. He died in Raigando Cave around June 13, 1645. Musashi spent many years studying Buddhism and swordsmanship. He was an accomplished artist, sculptor, and calligrapher. Records also show that he had architectural skills. Also, he seems to have had a rather straightforward approach to combat, with no additional frills or aesthetic considerations. This was probably due to his real-life combat experience, although in his later life, Musashi followed a more artistic approach. He made various Zen brush paintings, calligraphy, and sculpted wood and metal. Even in the Book of Five Rings he emphasizes that samurai should understand other professions as well. In the Book of Five Rings, Musashi takes a philosophical approach to the craft of war. There are 5 ways in which men pass through life, as gentlemen, warriors, farmers, artisans, and merchants. Throughout the book, Musashi implies that the way of the warrior, as well as the meaning of a true strategist, is that of somebody who has made mastery of many art forms away from that of the sword, such as tea drinking, laboring, writing, and painting, as Musashi practiced throughout his life. Even in Musashi's time, there were fictional texts resembling comic books. It is therefore quite difficult to separate fact from fiction when discussing his life. There have been numerous works of fiction made about or featuring Musashi. Eiji Yoshikawa's novelization has greatly influenced successive fictional depictions and is often mistaken for a factual account of Musashi's life. Musashi's dedication to his craft along with his writings have come to inspire people around the world to take the difficult path in an effort to make themselves better and stronger.